Yo, it's your boy Logos, and I've been a huge Star Wars fan my whole entire life. When I was younger, I would take the cord off of blinds and I would mimic the action scenes or the lightsaber fights because the little cord for the blinds would make a whooshing sound similar to the lightsaber. And I would get fully engrossed to the movie, even if people hated the second trilogy focusing on Anakin Skywalker. I loved it for the action and just being able to get more modern Star Wars with modern effects, even if the storytelling isn't as strong as it used to be. Either way, I think Disney has managed to run the whole franchise into the ground. No matter what you say about the Anakin trilogy, it is still much better than what we're getting from Disney. Whether it's their focus being on woke politics, whether it be plot lines and plot holes, whether it be fully established characters having their motivation and seemingly progression over the three movies being changed or forgotten about because they have different directors, or they change directors in the middle of filming or shooting or reshoots, no matter what it may be, Disney has repeatedly set the bar lower and lower with their fans over the past 5 or so years. Even longer, if you ask me. When the first Star Wars movie from Disney came out, I was really excited. Now, I don't even give a shit about their content. I'll wait for many, many other people to say it's good before I even give it a shot. That's not even a guarantee it's actually going to be watched by me. Because at this point, I don't trust them. I don't trust their mission or their ideals or what they're trying to get towards. I thought I was going to be entertained, not preached to. And the only reason I'm talking about this is because it seems that the newest movie they're going to come out with has been announced and the person who's directing it. So let's watch this video to see what it's going to be all about and what's trending on Twitter right now.
Also the first woman and the first person of color to direct a Star Wars film. It's set to be released in 2026. You can say that the force is strong with this one. Here's Sharmina Bechinoy.
I'm very thrilled about the project because I think what we are about to create is something very special. And we're in 2024 now. And I think it's about time that we had a woman come forward to shape the story in a galaxy far, far away.
Also the first woman.
So I can understand some people will be like, oh my gosh, these nerds are so sexist. Because that's what they use nowadays. Even before this news broke out, different movies, films within the nerd culture that these companies just love to monetize and profit off of, they still at the same time love to talk shit about the same people that made these franchises so big to begin with. And this whole idea that people don't like this announced because it's a woman, that's not the case. It's the whole focus of these movies nowadays. You're not caring about telling an actually good story. You're not caring about actual progression of the character. You afraid to even have your character Ray need the help of a man or seemingly have any type of conflict that she has trouble getting over. People call her a Mary Sue, and honestly, I tend to agree with those people because it really made no sense how she was able to keep up with so many different stuff throughout those three movies, whether it's the action or the lightsaber battles between her and Kylo Ren, considering that he was trained from a very young age and then trained further by Snoke, where she was just on this backwater desert planet with no interaction with any type of training, but she could fight and fend them off. It just made no sense. Not to mention stuff like the Knights of Ren not being fleshed out, Captain Phasma not being fleshed out, Finn not being fleshed out. Not to mention the bullshit that happened in the last movie when you had the purple-haired woman acting ridiculous towards Poe and trying to, I don't know, demean him for taking charge in the situation that is life or death. It's just so many things about this franchise that has caused me to give up on actually giving a damn about it. And I think that's the actual point. It's not because she's a woman. It's not because she's a person of color or any other characteristic you want to focus on. It's because of their focus in of itself. It's not about having good movies. It's about checking off a box and saying we made history. Yes, we made history because we put out this film made by this particular, group or this particular person with set characteristics. It doesn't matter how good the film actually is. We're just proud of ourselves for doing something very special. You didn't even create the movie yet, and you're talking about we're going to create something very special. We don't know the script, we don't know direction, and based on previous history, I have no reason to be remotely confident about how this world is going to go. And that's just being honest. I want it to be, bro. I love Star Wars. Having good action, having good battles, having good story, progression of your characters, having them be weak and then become strong through conflict and overcoming conflict. That is what I love about Star Wars. That's what I loved about old movies before this modern day and age, where you can't have a character, especially if it's a female character, be weak at any point in time. The whole point of being weak at one point is for you to get stronger to overcome it and keep getting stronger. But if you're constantly able to just get through any foe or any type of adversity that comes your way within an hour or so, and we not seeing any good reason why you should be able to, I'm not gonna buy into that. It's a Mary Sue. And for any person that thinks Anakin's a Mary Sue, I think you're crazy as hell. He had his own hand cut off, like he had his legs chopped off. Like, you see his own anger and his childishness cost himself and the people around him. I don't think he's a Mary Sue. I think Ray was, and it's a shame. She could have been a really good character, and they messed her up too with her origins and like who's her parents and all this bullshit. Like over and over again, Disney screws it up. And I really want Disney or anybody to do a High Republic, Late Republic, Dark Reaches of the Galaxy type movies, a Sith movie. All these movies from Star Wars I want, and Disney has the money and influence to make it possible and make it good. I don't understand why. Why can't we just go back to the pre-woke era where MCU and other movies focus on just making good content? I have no problem with you trying to teach a certain lesson within your movies because that's what almost every movie and story does, whether it's a movie or through folklore. It's usually lessons being within it, but the whole point is to also be entertained, and you get that lesson at the same point at the same time as being entertained. It's not happening nowadays. It's about, this is how you should think, this is what's right, and I don't care about that stuff. I'm not going to see Star Wars for that stuff. If I care about that stuff, I can go listen to a philosophical debate. I don't need to go to the movies and pay you $50 for a ticket, popcorn, and drink. And not just me. Not to mention bringing other people too. Like, this is ridiculous. You can see why people are saying Star Wars is done, it's falling apart, it's lost. People gonna focus just because they say it's because she's a person of color and she's a woman. It's because of the focus of the company. And I thought they got over this shit with I think Bob Iver or somebody else saying that they're gonna change their direction. We're gonna focus on making good movies or something that he said within the past 3 or 6 months because they're hemorrhaging money throughout Disney Plus or MCU not making money or people not watching the Star Wars properties as much as they used to. They're not making money as much as they used to. And they had all these plans with the streaming service. It's not coming together. And I thought he said something like, we're going to get back on track. Maybe that just for Snow White. But if you know that's the case for Snow White, you need to worry about all your properties. Because if one thing is falling apart and you still doing the same thing on everything else, those are going to fall apart too. And I won't feel bad for you. I feel bad for the fans.
Welcome back.
That's how I truly feel. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. It's your boy Logos, and I'll see you next time. Peace.